But the first thing I'll point out is we make it a point to ask the owner of the property what types of damages to those collateral things may have happened to the property during the storm, because it's easy to forget that a lot of times things get cleaned up or repaired, or they make changes to the property between when the event was and when we're actually getting there. Which is one reason we love it when our clients will ask us to go really quickly, because a lot of that stuff is still there. So we always make a point to ask them, and they'll say, "Oh, well, some siding blew off the right side, but I already fixed that. We follow that. Do you have a photo of that?" Well, yeah, let me look at my phone. I'll get a photo. We gather all that information of what the site would have looked like if we had been there the day it happened, but that they may have changed since then. A tree got cleaned up, etc. And then after that, we do search the site and the surrounding areas and the properties. And things we're looking for are, broken tree limbs, down trees, down fences, those kind of ancillary things that are outside the actual building itself. Um, Trampolines are surprisingly easy to toss around in a strong wind event. Those tend to get beat up pretty good. So we look for trampolines, umbrellas, furniture, and then the stuff that's actually touching the house that tends to be the most susceptible are these non-structural items. And Kevin, you mentioned soffits. Soffits are very vinyl soffit. It pops in. It's very easy to pop out. Uplift pressure knocks that out pretty easy. Lights and fans and claddings and vinyl shutters, gutters, downspouts, all of those things are these non-structural items, which are not designed to withstand the same wind pressures that a roof covering is, that you would expect to potentially be vulnerable to wind. Um, the one caveat that has to be remembered is that, like Kevin mentioned at the beginning, a properly installed sound asphalt shingle roof that is sealed as it is intended to be can be rather robust. But an unsealed, particularly three-tab shingle, you have a somewhat aged three-tab shingle, the seal has failed, it's just there. It's very easily damaged by wind. And so a lack of collateral indicators would not necessarily mean that there's no way that that three-tab shingle was bent by wind. So we have to think about all of those things and take a totality approach to every single site study individually.
Kevin, again, Josh hit on a lot of things. I know you hit on a lot of things a couple minutes ago, but anything else, to add as far as the collateral indicators? I know you talked about driving into a neighborhood and looking, are there yard signs all over the place? But anything else that you may look at as an adjuster?
I was listening to Josh. I was like, yep, I looked for that one. Yep, I looked for that one. I looked for that one. So one of the other big ones was those cheap vinyl or metal sheds. Those would just evaporate in strong winds, So um, the trampoline one is always hilarious. Like the neighbor's trampoline from six houses down is in the property that you're looking at now, or vice versa. Vinyl fences are notoriously terrible for wood, especially like the two rail where it's just like a top and bottom rail and a whole bunch of slats. Like strong winds will just blow those slats all over the neighborhood. So they're giant sails, and so vinyl soffits, vinyl fences, those were other key indicators of strong winds in those neighborhoods. But yeah, Josh had a pretty good comprehensive list there. I was checking my adjuster collateral boxes as he was going through that.